Welcome to NFL Live. Hey, you picked a great day to tune in today. We hope you tune in every day, but we've got a loaded show for you. First up, we're talking top edge rushers in this draft class. Are their flaws fixable? Red flags that teams should avoid. Our GM takes us behind the curtain in draft rooms, what they're actually talking about. Plus, Patrick Mahomes is back. Look at him. He's throwing. He looks really good. Does this mean a Week 1 return is on the horizon for the three-time Super Bowl champ? Jeremy Fowler with us. The latest on the timeline, what it means for the Chiefs. And the Seahawks just broke the bank for their star wideout. Well-deserved. Are more moves coming in Seattle? Adam Schefter joining to tell us what could be the next domino to fall. So glad that you are with us here. As I said, we got J-Mac, we got Mike T, we got Adam Schefter. Jeremy Fowler is joining us in just a little bit. And you guys, we got a lot to get to, so let's roll. Big week of pro days around the country. Headline today by Texas Tech's David Bailey. Look at him out there. He's a projected top pick in this year's draft. And not only just a top pick, like Field Yates' latest mock has him going second overall to the Jets. So he's in the top 5. Jets could sure use a heavy dose of David Bailey. Their defense last season, not good. Terrible, in fact. 31st in sacks, 31st in touchdowns allowed, and last in interceptions because they had 0. Look at that on the screen. It's 0. That J-Mac doesn't like to see that.
That pains me.
Jets became the first team ever without a single interception in a season. J-Mac will talk about that pain in moments with you. But Adam, what more can you tell us about the Jets' plan, what they want to do with that second pick in April?
Well, Laura, when you have 25 sacks in a season and you rank 31st in the NFL and you have 0 interceptions as the first NFL team ever to not intercept a pass in a season, you need to find a way to generate pressure and generate defensive turnovers. And the way to do that would be with one of these pass rushers, which is why many people think that David Bailey will be one of the options for the Jets at number 2, along with Arvell Reese, along with Ruben Maine, along with whoever they decide to go with at that particular spot. That seems to be one of the strengths of this draft, the pass rushers in this draft. And those draft pass rushers, David Bailey and Arvell Reese, might be 2 of the top prospects in this draft. So it's no stretch at all to think that the Jets could be going pass rusher at number 2. David Bailey would be a prime prospect.
And I love the fact that he's saying that. And he's right, absolutely right. Edge rusher. When you look at David Bailey, he to me, as you go to the draft, when you talk about just a pure pass rusher and somebody that can get after the quarterback, that first step, coming with the spin move, getting there, you look at what they've had. T'Vondre Sweat now bringing him over on the inside. Harrison Phillips on the inside. If you get a guy like Bailey coming off the edge, forcing the quarterback to step up in the pocket, that speed rush or speed to power is going to impact them. When you can't get pressure on the quarterback, then you don't get those tips and overthrows that DBs love to get, where you don't have to work as hard to be able to intercept the ball. You can rely on the speed guys and that rush in front of you.
Then why would they pay you so much?
Why are we paying? Because I'm going to catch the ball, too.
Okay.
Like, you got to catch it, too, Mike T. Just pay all of us. That's how you end up with a good team. But to me, Bailey is the guy that can come over and right away have a huge impact. There obviously are great qualities with the other guys when we talk about Ruben Bain, we talk about Arvell Reese. I think Bailey for the Jets, if you're saying, hey, we just want to get a guy, plug him in on the edge and just let him go, he would be the guy at 2. But I think Arvell Reese brings a little bit more of that versatility to move around.
We saw some of the video of David Bailey at the Pro Day. We can show you more of that again. But Mike T, if you're a team like the Jets or maybe these other teams that are picking early, interested in a player like this, what are you hoping to glean from his Pro Day? What do you still need to see?
Well, one thing that we know about Arvell Reese is his versatility. He's played on the ball. He's played off the ball. What we want to see with David Bailey is, can he go backwards? And J-Mac, you know this from playing for Coach Belichick. There are a number of coaches that want to have versatility in their front 7. We know that Arvell Reese can do it. There's no reason to think that David Bailey can't, looking at his athleticism and his explosion, but certainly at a pro day or a private workout, coaches will put him through different drills to see if he can be a zone dropper. He's not going to have to be an elite man-to-man, but can he, drop in a zone, not all the time, but just some of the time. So that could be a tiebreaker between Bailey and Reese, 2 outstanding players.
You mentioned the versatility for Reese. Versatility even at the linebacker position alone. He's got 457 career snaps at inside linebacker, 433 outside. I think that versatility, you mentioned it yesterday, that's going to go a long way when teams decide maybe to draft Reese. All right, so Field Yates has David Bailey going second to the Jets. He also has 2 other edge rushers in the top 10. It's a good class for edge rushers, especially at the top. We know what they can do, but are there any concerns? Let's go there, okay? We know they're top players, but what do you have to look out for? We start again with Bailey, who led the FBS last season in pressure rate and co-led in sacks, but his run stop rate is the concern, ranking 186 in FBS. Arvell Reese ranked 5th in the Big Ten in tackle rate last season, but experience is the question here. Only about half of his snaps last year were as an edge rusher. And Reuben Bain Jr., he led the FBS in pressures as an edge, but will reach be a worry. It's those arms again. His arm measurement at the combine would be the shortest by a first-round defensive lineman since 2003. Earlier this week, Bain was asked about if that would be an issue.
Like Mike Tyson, he wasn't the most tallest. He wasn't the tallest guy, or wasn't the longest limb guy. But when you felt him, you felt him. And you wish you kept your distance.
All right. Yeah, that was a short segment talking about short arms. Either way, listen, by the way, these guys are going to go early in the draft. We're just trying to nitpick a little bit in the way that teams would. We see some of the deficiencies of these dudes. They're really good players, but how big of a deal are some of these things as you go through the top defensive guys, especially the edge rushers in this draft?
Yeah, Laura, it's going to be a tiebreaker, and a lot's been made about Reuben Bain's arm length, reportedly sub 31 inches. Ideally, they're 33 inches or longer. But when you have his sort of production, which was really remarkable this year, when he had over 30 quarterback pressures at a high level, I'm not betting against that. I'm going to watch the film. Ideally, his arms would be a little bit longer, but to me, I still think he goes in the top 10. Go back to Dwight Freeney. He was drafted by Hall of Fame GM Bill Polian, had a great career, even though he was much shorter than ideal from a pass rush standpoint. So, again, as you said, Laura, we're nitpicking. I think at the end of the day, they're all going to be productive pros. They're all going to go in the top 10.
Yeah, and I look at Bailey, too. You talk about the run stopping. The one thing is that he plays with a high motor, and he has that effort. I think some of those skill sets and some of those techniques and nuances, you can teach him at the next level as long as he's willing to get dirty and get in there, and you've seen that from him in college. Arvell Reese is a guy that when I watch him, I get fired up. Matt Patricia was a defensive coordinator at Ohio State. Matty P was also in New England. He had a guy by the name of Jamie Collins as a linebacker who they would line up all over the field. He would be off the ball backer, but then he would be on the edge in a third down and long situation or second down and long. To me, what you can do with him within your defense, you could have one personnel out there, and from snap to snap, he could be lined up at a different spot that best suits his skill set or whatever the play call is. So I think Arvell Reese, he has to go to the right coordinator who's going to know how to use him, put him off the ball and blitz him, put him on the edge, and he can still defend the run and do all of those special things. So he's the guy that I watch and I go, man, the amount of things that you can do with him when you're sitting there and trying to design defense is just phenomenal.
Yeah, and Adam, it's not even just as J-Mac's bringing up these coordinators that could potentially be attracted to Arvell Reese or maybe even some of these other guys. There's a lot of defensive-minded coaches, even new head coaches at some of these teams will be picking early.
Well, there's no question about that, Laura. But again, here's the other thing that's very interesting about the pass rushers at the top of the draft. We've already seen 5 pass rushers in the last year or so crack the $40 million a year threshold. We've seen already Micah Parsons, Aiden Hutchinson, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Danielle Hunter. They're all over $40 million a year. So when we talk about teams drafting a quarterback and having the advantages of having a quarterback on a rookie